Hey, so I've been working on a series of fan art pieces of the Super Mario characters, and here are the markers that I used in this piece. And as you can see here, it's Waluigi. Now, out of all of the pieces that I've done in this series, Waluigi's sketch is my favorite. Like, I finished drawing him and I was really like, I did that, you know? The thing is that I generally don't draw guys. If I do draw guys, it's probably like portrait studies of like K-drama actors or some guys from boy groups that I like, and I just do it because I like them. So other than that, I won't draw guys. I'll draw girls most of the time, and I've gotten better at like making my art pretty and getting like the hang of my style, or like discovering my style. But it kind of gets a tad bit more difficult to make my art pretty when I'm like drawing guys or trying to like draw them in my style. I don't know, there's like some people who are like really amazing at like making some really pretty pieces with guys and stuff like that, but I just struggle a bit more on doing that, so I end up avoiding it as much as I can because like the piece doesn't turn out as good as I want it to. But like I think I was just in my head a bit too much about it, like thinking that I can't do it and then giving up on trying. So I really like contemplated like only drawing Princess Peach and Daisy, like just the girls, with this fan art series. But like I was like, you know, the reason why I wanted to do this series was to like experiment with new art supplies. So I was like, you know what, this is a pretty good chance for me to practice drawing guys without having the pressure to make it like perfect, because I'm experimenting with new supplies and there will be mistakes anyway, so might as well just draw, you know, some of the guys. And so I came in with like zero expectations, and I was actually pleasantly surprised when they came out all right. Like it was a bit of a confidence boost. Maybe I'll draw guys more often now and like stop avoiding it as much, but you know, that's what it is. Sometimes you just gotta try things and just do it and get out of your head. I don't know, that's my lesson, my moral of the story. Anywho, so there's like 7 fan art pieces in total that I did so far on my channel. There's Princess Peach, there's Princess Daisy, Mario, Luigi, and this one is Waluigi. And next is Wario, and then after Wario is Rosalina and Luma. I ended up adding Rosalina and Luma at the end. I wasn't initially planning on drawing her, but I was like looking at the Super Smash characters, and Rosalina and Luma is part of like the Mario series character universe, whatever. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. And I was like, you know what, I'll draw her then. But I haven't played a game, like a Mario game, with Rosalina and Luma in it yet. But yeah, so I added her in at the end. Anywho, I got these new like art supplies, which is like, I got like markers and I got watercolor paints. So I wanted to like try out using them, and I wanted to have fun experimenting with them and getting the hang of them. So that's how I started doing this fan art series. My main medium is watercolors, but I really wanted to get better at using markers, because usually like my go-to, I will just like grab my watercolors and I had markers, but I wasn't really using them as often. When I did make pieces with markers, I wasn't as satisfied as when I use watercolors. So I'm just like trying to force myself to practice using markers by doing these fan art pieces. So yeah, I wanted to use like different skin tone markers like throughout the different pieces. So like for Waluigi, I wanted to choose a tan color, and I ended up grabbing like the wrong marker, so his skin tone here is like darker than I had like anticipated. So at first things weren't going according to plan, and I actually panicked a bit, which you don't even see that on camera. But then I decided to just run with it, and I somehow convinced myself that I could use color theory to correct it, which I didn't really do that, since I actually don't know how that works. I just like see other artists use color theory to do cool stuff with colors. I just assumed that magically I would somehow be able to do the same thing, but I didn't really, and in the end, like, I told myself it's fine, even though it didn't turn out the way I had wanted. But like, the reason I'm doing this like series right now, as I said, is because I wanted to experiment. So even if I don't get the result I wanted, I still learned something new about using my art supplies. I think the thing that I learned about using the markers is that it comes out darker than it looks like on my color sheet. Like, I have like this, like the little paper with the different colors and how they look, and one, it does not look anything like how it looks on the cap with some colors. Some colors actually kind of look like the cap, but some colors completely do not look like the color on the cap. And even on like the color, like the little square on the color sheet, like it sometimes is like completely not accurate. I don't know how to, not that it's completely not accurate, but like it's darker than how it looks. Especially since like the way I use markers and the way I've been blending it, I layer it several times, so it ends up turning out a lot darker than it looks like on the sheet. So that's what I learned about using markers, and sometimes I think I might just have to like do like a color mock-up to see if the colors turn out the way I like, are the way I want. I've gotten so used to like my watercolors that I can tell, like I like have memorized what each of the colors look like. But like with my markers, I am more in the dark. So anywho, that's what I learned. I've been like talking about markers while you watch like the watercolors, and now I'm on the line art. But anywho, I was talking about my lessons. About the watercolors though, I got these sparkly watercolors. Usually I have like 2 golds and a silver, so I wanted a lot more since I use golds a lot. So I got all these like different sets of like sparkly colors, and they look so pretty, but I'm still feeling the other colors out. Like, I don't know, I'm still feeling them out. I'm not entirely satisfied with how I use them, but like then again, it's like all part of the learning process. Another note that I want to make of what I learned while experimenting is I don't like how I do line art. Like it's come to a point where it's like I really want to change it. Like, I use color pencils, and I do like the softness of the color pencils compared to like using like pens and having that sharp look, but my line art is sloppy. When I'm doing line work, I try to cover like the red sketch underneath, but then when I color, I don't color inside the lines. So then when I'm doing the line work, it ends up being, I don't know, not neat. If I follow the red sketch, then there's like color outside the line. But if I follow the color, then you can see the red sketch. I don't know, it just doesn't look neat. And it doesn't help that I'm terrible at tracing lines, and that sometimes my hands are shaky and they come out wobbly. But I don't know, it doesn't look neat. So, and with color pencils, like, you have to keep sharpening it. If you don't, then it's not. Anywho, my line work needs work, so I want to work on making it neater, and I'm gonna try to figure out another technique on how to do it so it looks better. But anywho, that's how this piece turned out, and those are the lessons that I've learned, and see you guys in the next one.